The 1960s was a decade of musical revolution. With the rise of rock and roll, this era saw the emergence of several bands that would go on to shape the future of music. However, with time, some of these bands have fallen off the radar and are no longer as well known as they once were. So, what happened to these once prominent groups? How did they fade into obscurity? Let's uncover the stories of 15 iconic bands from the 1960s that disappeared from the limelight. Number 15. The Flying Machine. The Flying Machine soared onto the charts with their 1969 hit, Smile a Little Smile for Me, a bittersweet pop anthem that's still impossible to resist. This British bubblegum pop band was born from the remnants of Pinkerton's Assorted Colours, who had their own UK success with Mirror Mirror in 1966. By 1969, key members Tony Newman, Stuart Coleman, and Sam Kempe joined forces with Steve Jones and Paul Wilkinson to form The Flying Machine. With Newman taking the lead on vocals, the group crafted their defining single, which climbed to number 5 on the US Billboard Hot 100 and earned a gold disc by the RIAA after selling 1 million copies. Despite their promising start, follow-up singles like Baby Make It Soon and The Devil Has Possession of Your Mind failed to replicate their success. The band dissolved shortly after, but Smile a Little Smile for Me remains a sunny relic of the 1960s pop scene. Number 14. Peppermint Rainbow. The Peppermint Rainbow came from Baltimore with dreams as bright as their name. In 1969, their single Will You Be Staying After Sunday brought them a taste of the big time, reaching number 32 on the Billboard charts and earning a gold record. Formed as New York Times, they were discovered by producer Paul Lika, the mind behind Nana Hey Hey, Kiss Him Goodbye. Lika gave the group a shot and a new name, and soon they were blending harmonies and crafting pop gems. Their brief run showcased the sunny, harmony-driven pop sound of the late 60s, but they couldn't maintain their momentum in a crowded music scene. By the early 1970s, they'd disappeared as quickly as they'd arrived. Still, Will You Be Staying? After Sunday remains a charming relic of an era when pop music was sweet, simple, and sometimes fleeting. For a moment, the Peppermint Rainbow shined, and that's worth remembering. Now let's move to number 13, Spiral Staircase. It's not every day a band gets remembered for a single timeless love song, but Spiral Staircase did just that with More Today Than Yesterday. Released in 1969, the track became a staple of oldies playlists, its feel-good vibe impossible to resist. The group's story began in California, where Gary Usher, a producer linked to the Beach Boys, spotted their potential. Originally called the Fidalians, they switched to Spiral Staircase, a name borrowed from a 1940s thriller but given a groovy spelling twist to fit the times. Their hit rocketed them to fame, but the success didn't last. The pressure to adapt to the hippie aesthetic, combined with the challenges of creating a follow-up hit, led to their quick fade. Yet, More Today Than Yesterday still lights up weddings, commercials, and radio stations, proving that sometimes one great song is all it takes to leave a mark. Number 12. The Left Banke. The Left Banke didn't just create music, they crafted Baroque pop, a genre as intricate and melodic as its name. Formed in New York City in 1965, this innovative group included Michael Brown, keyboards, Steve Martin, vocals, George Cameron, drums, Tom Finn, bass, and Jeff Winfield, guitar. Their debut single, Walk Away Renee, became an instant classic, climbing to number 5 on the Billboard charts in 1966. With its lush string arrangements and Martin's hauntingly expressive vocals, the song set a new standard for pop music. The follow-up, Pretty Ballerina, was another success, reaching number 15 in early 1967. However, the band's story wasn't all harmony. Internal conflicts and poor management led to their breakup in 1969. While brief reunions produced sporadic new material, The Left Banke's enduring legacy lies in their ability to merge rock with orchestral elegance, captivating listeners with timeless tunes that still resonate today. Number 11. The Rose Garden. The Rose Garden bloomed briefly but beautifully, leaving a lasting impression with their 1967 hit Next Plane to London. This Los Angeles folk rock band drew inspiration from the Byrds, and their jangly guitars and earnest vocals captured the essence of the late 60s. The lineup featured Diana DeRose, vocals and guitar, John Noreen, 12-string guitar, Jim Groshong, vocals and guitar, Bill Fleming, bass, and Bruce Bowden, drums. Signed to Atco Records, their breakout single climbed to number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100, giving them a taste of success. Their self-titled debut album, released in early 1968, showcased their melodic style but failed to produce another hit. Internal tensions, coupled with two members being drafted into the military, led to the band's dissolution later that year. While their career was short-lived, Next Plane to London remains a cherished classic, encapsulating the folk rock spirit of the era. Have you ever heard this band? What are your thoughts? Well, drop your comment below. Now let's head over to number 10, the Box Tops. Memphis brought us barbecue, blues, and the Box Tops, a band that redefined soul-infused rock with the letter. In 1967, this 1-minute and 58-second masterpiece hit number 1, selling 4 million copies and becoming a cultural phenomenon. Led by a gravelly-voiced 16-year-old Alex Chilton, the Box Tops had a sound that felt mature beyond their years. Originally the DeVilles, they swapped names and hit the ground running with hits like Cry Like a Baby, which also dominated the charts in 1968. The band's magic lay in their Memphis roots, combining raw soul with polished rock. But like many groups of the era, internal struggles and shifting trends caught up with them. Chilton went on to form the cult favorite band Big Star, while the rest of the group disbanded. Still, when the letter plays, it's hard not to be transported to a time when soul and rock collide perfectly. Number 9. The Fortunes. The Fortunes brought a touch of class to the British invasion, pairing tight harmonies with irresistible melodies. Formed in Birmingham, England, they hit international fame in 1965 with You've Got Your Troubles, a poignant ballad that topped charts worldwide. The group, originally fronted by Rod Allen, showcased their vocal prowess in hits like Here It Comes Again and Here Comes That Rainy Day, Feeling Again. Their polished sound earned them a devoted following, and by the 1970s they'd added Freedom Come, Freedom Go, and Storm in a teacup to their roster of hits. However, lineup changes and evolving musical trends made it hard for the Fortunes to maintain their early momentum. While their later singles didn't chart as successfully, their contribution to the harmony beat genre left a lasting impression. Even today, their music stands as a reminder of the craftsmanship and charm of 1960s pop. Number 8. The Crazy World of Arthur Brown. What do face paint, a flaming helmet, and a powerful operatic voice have in common? That's right, Arthur Brown. Formed in 1967, the Crazy World of Arthur Brown shook the rock world with their theatrical flair. Frontman Arthur Brown's electrifying performances were backed by the skilled Vincent Crane on Hammond organ, Draken Thaker on drums, and Nick Greenwood on bass. But it was their 1968 hit Fire that set the charts ablaze, reaching number 1 in the UK and number 2 in the US. Dubbed the God of Hellfire, Arthur Brown's opening Scream on Fire became iconic. The band's self-titled debut album was equally successful, climbing high on charts worldwide. However, internal conflicts and the pressure to sustain their over-the-top theatrics led to their decline. Despite their short-lived run, their legacy endures as pioneers of theatrical rock, influencing acts from Alice Cooper to Kiss. Brown's fiery charisma still burns bright in rock history. Number 7. The McCoys. Ever tapped your feet to hang on, Sloopy? The McCoys were the fresh-faced band behind that 1965 chart-topping anthem. Their sugary mix of rock and bubblegum pop made them teen icons overnight. But their story didn't end there. Oh no. These high schoolers from the Midwest, initially known as Rick and the Raiders, cut their teeth on local gigs before landing a hit that cemented their place in rock history. Rick Derringer, their guitar prodigy, later traded in his garage band fame for a solo career, becoming one of the 1970s great guitar heroes. Their professionalism and knack for stealing the spotlight from bigger acts were legendary. Yet, fame was fleeting. While Hang On Sloopy kept the world humming, the McCoys faded into obscurity. But hey, if you're going to be a one-hit wonder, why not make it a hit that lives forever? Number 6. The Beau Brummels. When the Beau Brummels burst onto the scene in 1964, many thought they were British, a testament to their polished sound during the British invasion era. But this San Francisco folk rock band was all American, led by Sal Valentino's unique voice and Ron Elliott's brilliant songwriting. Their debut single, Laugh soared to number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100, making them the first notable American response to British dominance. Follow-up hits like Just a Little cemented their place in music history. Produced by Sylvester Stewart, later known as Sly Stone, the band was ahead of its time, influencing future folk rock acts. However, internal challenges, poor management, and Elliott's health issues slowed their momentum. Despite their disbandment in 1968, the Beau Brummels remain iconic, with their music earning renewed appreciation from fans and musicians alike. Their sound was a precursor to the folk rock movement that defined the late 60s. Number 5. Mercy. Mercy's 1969 hit Love Can Make You Happy captured the hearts of listeners, climbing to number 2 on both the Billboard Hot 100 and Adult Contemporary charts. Written by Jack Sigler Jr., the song became an anthem of the late 1960s, showcasing the group's soft pop charm. The Florida-based band was initially caught in a strange twist when an unauthorized album featuring unrelated musicians was released under their name. To set the record straight, Mercy recorded their own version of Love Can Make You Happy for Warner Brothers, which became the definitive hit. While they had one other minor hit, Forever, which peaked at number 79, the band couldn't sustain their initial momentum. However, lead vocalist Jack Sigler Jr. kept the spirit of Mercy alive, releasing new music and touring with the group decades later. Love Can Make You Happy remains a timeless classic, a testament to the enduring power of a well-crafted pop ballad. Number 4. Classics 4. If the haunting saxophone in Spooky has ever caught your ear, you've heard the magic of Classics of 4. This Jacksonville, Florida band started in 1965, blending pop, jazz, and a touch of Southern soul into their smooth sound. Led by Dennis Yost, known for his velvety vocals, Classics R4 struck gold with a string of hits between 1967 and 1969. Spooky peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, followed by Stormy at number 5 and Traces climbing to number 2. Their sultry, sax-laden tunes became instant standards, covered by countless artists over the years. Originally a cover band, they evolved into a polished act with a distinctive identity. While lineup changes and shifting trends eventually led to their decline, Classics R4's music still resonates. Songs like Spooky remain timeless, proving that their legacy is far from fading. Number 3. The T-Bones. You've probably heard No Matter What Shape, Your Stomach's In, the catchy tune inspired by an Alka-Seltzer ad. That's the T-Bones, a Liberty Records project famous for their unique setup. Unlike most bands, the T-Bones hit recordings were performed by session legends, The Wrecking Crew. When the single took off in 1966, Liberty quickly assembled a public band, featuring Judd Hamilton, Dan Hamilton, Joe Frank Carollo, Tommy Reynolds, and Gene Pello. The single peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, and their follow-up album kept the momentum alive. However, the T-Bones' public band didn't play on their earlier recordings, creating a fascinating divide between studio work and live performances. The group eventually dissolved, but its members found greater success as the soft rock trio Hamilton, Joe Frank, and Reynolds. The T-Bones' brief stint still stands out as a quirky and catchy chapter in pop music history. Number 2. Four Jacks and a Jill. South Africa's Four Jacks and a Jill made waves in the 1960s, leaving a global impact with their hit Master Jack. Initially formed in 1964 as the Nevadas, they transitioned into Four Jacks and a Jill after adding lead vocalist Glennis Lynn. Their breakout hit, Master Jack, reached number 18 on the U.S. Billboard Hot 100, number 3 on the Adult Contemporary chart, and topped charts in Canada, Australia, and South Africa. The song's haunting melody and introspective lyrics resonated worldwide, cementing their place in music history. Follow-up singles like Mr. Nico didn't achieve the same success in the U.S., but the band remained popular in South Africa, producing hits and performing for decades. Beyond music, Four Jacks and a Jill showed a commitment to their community, creating educational storybooks for South African charities. Their enduring legacy as South Africa's first internationally recognized band remains a point of pride, with Master Jack standing as a timeless classic. Number 1. The Seeds. The Seeds were the epitome of raw garage rock energy in the 1960s. Best known for their proto-punk anthem Pushin' Too Hard, this Los Angeles band captured the rebellious spirit of the era. Formed in 1965 by frontman Sky Saxon, guitarist Jan Savage, keyboardist Daryl Hooper, and drummer Rick Andridge, the Seeds quickly developed a reputation for their gritty sound and electrifying performances. Pushin' Too Hard cracked the Billboard Hot 100, reaching number 36 in 1967, and remains a garage rock classic. The band experimented with psychedelic sounds in albums like Future, but their later work didn't achieve the same commercial success. Internal tensions and shifting musical trends led to their disbandment by the early 1970s. While their time in the spotlight was brief, the Seeds' influence on punk and garage rock is undeniable. Their raw energy and unapologetic style paved the way for countless bands that followed. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.